Hello everybody. The goal of today's video is for me to show you, and we can together explore everything that's wrong with this 2006 Lincoln Town Car Signature Limited. And the reason why I'm making this video is in preparation for selling it. Now, I had a previous video where I was exploring a 2020 Ford Fusion Hybrid, and I think we're going to go ahead and complete the purchase from the company. It's going to happen in the upcoming weeks. I mean, I don't know when it's going to happen, but basically I requested it and I was granted my wish. So it was just a matter of finding the time where we can go and we can do all the paperwork and I can pay for it and all that stuff. So I'm not selling this town car yet, but I want to make this video where the next video I'm going to make is most likely going to be, hey, this car's for sale, and I'm going to try to sell it for a reasonable price, given its age, the mileage, the overall condition. We'll figure that out. I'll make another video about that. But the goal of this video is for me to point everything that's wrong with it, and so that the next video can be relatively, uneventful, where I'll just post it. If I get a decent price for it, I will sell it. If I don't, I'll just probably end up donating it, because where I live, we can only have 2 vehicles per household. So I as much as I want to keep it, the whole logistics of parking it somewhere and then going to get it, and then it's rusting probably even more if it's not used for weeks on end. It's just probably not going to be good. So yeah, I'll try to sell it to hopefully somebody will take it. But in any case, this video will be, I guess a semi-quick overview. I'm not specialtymotorcars.net. No, I'm not gonna point here to every single you see whatever. What is that, by the way? Oh, it's some sort of a seed that's stuck like from a tree. I'm not gonna point to every single little scratch. So again, I'm not going to be selling this town car for $20,000-$30,000 like some of these, last remaining examples with like 10,000 miles. No, I'm going to sell it for a few $1,000s, hopefully. But here, we're gonna let's just start right up front here. Some of the stuff. Okay, so the chrome, as you can see on the grill, is coming apart. Yeah, there's a little water. I don't know if you can see it. There's those tiny little watermarks inside the emblem. The hood ornament is still there. It does look like it had a few little either rock chips or maybe hail, but it's not there's no pot marks, but you can kind of see right there. Yeah, like this I touched up a little scratch there, almost like a little nose itch. Yeah, so few paint things, few chips, all that stuff. It's not, on a 2006 vehicle with 120 some thousand miles. We're going to explore that. Rims, they're all been flex sealed, which I'll be honest with you, I know some people hated it when I did it and said, what the hell are you doing? Say all you want, but from a distance, even from down here, okay, of course the neighbors are going nuts with their dog. From a distance, you can't tell that it's a flex seal. Yeah, you can see that it's a dirty rim. I mean, they're all dirty, but I love it. I don't take anything I did. I don't regret anything. Like this one, I got a little sloppy. You can kind of see, but you know what? Oh, speaking of which, the tires. Okay, tires. When I bought the car, sorry, now I got a plane overhead. When I bought the car, these tires were pretty new. They're from 2019. I did not do anything. I rotated them, but I didn't do anything. It looks like the tires, as far as the medianess goes, they can still go for another year. Like, if I continue having this car, I'm not going to replace tires. The only thing is this tire right here has a tiniest of the tiny air leaks. This one. And the funny thing is that my wife's car, which is that Subaru Forester, has rear left tire, tiniest of the tiny air leaks. So because the tires are fine and I haven't really had a chance to take them to get them looked at, all I do is over here I'm carrying an air compressor, and every couple weeks I put like 10-15 psi's worth of air in there in my car, in this tire, and in that car. So we have a little, those who stay together, put air in the tires together, sort of deal. So yeah, so that's something to keep an eye on. But as far as the tires go overall, yeah, I mean, yes, they're dirty. You can see that. You can see how well the middle cap is kind of showing compared to the rest of the tire. But they're fine. They did not corrode. So that's all I care about. Now, okay, so let me step back a little. You can see my two-tone, okay? So I've made plenty of videos about it. So yes, these both quarter panels, they were repainted, and a piece of welded steel, well, a piece of steel was welded in both of those, on both sides. That side seems to be holding pretty well. This side, I already made plenty of videos about this. Yes, you can kind of see a tiny amount of corrosion poking through. And when he did it, he's like, hey, you know what, it's a cheap repair. You're probably gonna have the problem. It's gonna come back in a couple years. Yeah, he was right. Yeah, I'm not repainting this. I'm not redoing this. You can kind of see how tiniest bubbles are forming beyond that. So the plate was covered like somewhere in this area. Yes, the rust. This is probably the biggest problem with this vehicle, where the rust it takes over. And so what I did was I just sprayed Flex Seal right there just to cover it up, to kind of hold it up for the time being. But I don't suggest that the new owner, whoever they might be, I don't suggest that they try to invest $3,000 or $4,000, whatever the professional body repair place is going to charge. I don't, because as you can kind of see, it's here. So I just went. That's it. I cleaned off the rust several months ago, I think over the summer, and this is it. Now, does it look horrible? You could say that. Is it functional? Does that affect anything on the car? Absolutely not. So for me, this is fine. Let's take a look down here. This side, surprisingly, is holding up pretty well compared to the other one, but you can also start seeing, you see these little pop marks, these little bubbles that start forming. They're hard, so they can be popped, but I'm sure that in, let's say, 3 months or over the course of this winter season, it's probably going to be the same thing. So if I'm still owning the car, and guess what, I'm going to sand it down to the best of my ability. I'm going to blast it with Flex Seal. Yeah, you can kind of see right there, and that's it. I don't know how to stop it, and no, I'm not investing thousands of dollars to get this thing fixed, and no, I'm not a professional body shop myself where I can have the patience and whatever is required to get this thing fixed professionally. Here in the back bumper, looks like somebody dinged me. Let's see, right there, some blue thing. Yes, you can kind of see a little water forming. You kind of see some of the chrome starting to come apart, but it's again 2006. That probably never seen a garage in its life. I don't have a garage. It's not a garage queen, and never was probably. All right, that's as far as the exterior goes. Once again, another plane. Let me pop the hood. Let's see what's inside. Now, as far as the inside, I don't really have anything bad to say, honestly. Nothing is leaking to the best of my knowledge. Coolant is nice. I had a coolant leak a few years ago, which I fixed. Spark plugs are a couple years old, so there's that. Oil, I do change regularly. The belt, the serpentine belt, I think I changed it when I changed the transmission fluid. I'm not 100% sure. By the way, I do have full records of everything I did since owning this vehicle in December of 2019. So I have pretty good records. There you go. So don't really have anything bad to say. Once again, it starts, nothing leaks. I cleaned up this cowl thing to the best of my ability, so you can see it's all nice and clean underneath. So, and I do try to cover everything up as much as I could, and then I put a gasket maker right along the side of it, so it doesn't, because I used to have water that would leak. You can kind of see it would leak underneath the windshield, and it would gather on the passenger side floorboard. No, stop doing that. I mean, I did that, I think, the first year I owned it. Here's a little tiny thing there. Obviously, as trees become more naked, more crap is going to end up there. Air filter, I probably need to change next year. I think I replaced it in the beginning of this year, which is about a year old. But yeah, so you can kind of see what crap accumulates in there, which I try to keep clean, but obviously, every single moment of every day, stuff just ends up in there. So, yeah. Really nothing. I mean, it's got a remote start. The remote start works. There's a few things that I have to show you on the inside, but other than that, it's again, keep in mind, this is my daily driver. I mean, I trust this thing to get me to work and back. I trust this thing to, transport my kids. nothing really bad to say about the engine. Is bulletproof. I think I changed the alternator about 6 months ago. Yeah, batteries from 2022 right there. I had a video about that. So yeah, nothing. Engine, transmission, fine, nothing. No leaks as far as I know. You can kind of see a little chrome starting to come off. Well, oh, you know what? I already showed you that. So yeah, just your natural thing. Oh, one thing to note. This turning signal does not work. And it's not because of the headlight or because of the light bulb or anything like that. So these are aftermarket. They're not the original OEM. There's some Chinese stuff from Amazon. Haven't really had any problems with this one. This one, only the front turning signal, it works whenever it wants to. I changed the light bulb over the course of like the last 6 months. I think I've made a video about that. There's something off about it. I don't know what it is. I tried plugging it in. I tried replacing the light bulb. Like I said, it's something wrong with the housing itself. I'm not fixing that. I'm not replacing it again. I replaced the light bulbs. The high beams are the LED ones that Mr. Panzer Platform once sent me for free. I replaced those, and then I really struggled getting the low beams. They just wouldn't fit. He sent me some sort of customized ring. Yeah, they did not fit, so I just gave up. So yeah, I have regular light bulbs in there, and the turning signal does not work. The rear works, so it does have a fast flashing on the left turning signal. Once again, yeah, it's probably something wrong with the housing itself, but I'm not fixing that or replacing it. I just drive it like it is. Okay, I guess before we dive into the inside, let's see. There you go. This works with a nice creak. Nothing really bad to say about this. The air ride suspension does work. It's still original, I bet. I have a bunch of extra floor mats, which I'll probably give to the next person. I have this nice rubber liner, which I will probably take because it's a generic one. And then I do have this. This is from the L version. This is a floor mat from the rear seat. Here's my winter stuff. So yeah, somebody can have an extended floor mat, which does not fit. This is obviously a regular wheelbase, but I have the extra floor mat for a collection. Let's see what else is in here. Yeah, spare tire. Spare tire I think has been worn or used once before. I haven't used it, but you can kind of see the thread is really bad on that. I got the jack, the tools. I got like extra. I don't know why do I have that, but there you go. I've never used them. Hopefully the next person never has to use them. But yeah, there you go. So yeah, I mean, as far as that's concerned, this all works. You click it twice, and there you go. You can hear the squeals. All right, so that's, I think, as far as the outside. Yeah, this works. Sunroof does work. No leaks. I fixed that. I fixed the sagging door situation. All right, so let's look inside. So let's start from here. So the seats, so you can kind of see this stuff. Now, when I got the car, it had some wear here. And you can see the cracks. Yeah, that's obviously you can't hide it. This is a product called Coconix, and what I tried to do, I did this like 3 years ago. I got this product called Coconix, where it's supposedly like a leather fixer, and I try to mix it to match the color. It's freaking impossible. I had 3 drops of this, 3 drops of that, and then I got really frustrated. I'm like, all right, screw it. So I just slathered it like this just to prevent the material from cracking further. And you know what? It's been like 3+ years. Yes, it looks ugly, but you know what? The seats are still intact. There's no rips or tears. You can also see on the driver's seat. Well, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. Oh. I have some sort of, sorry. I have some sort of a piece of paper there. Oh, I think it's a receipt. Anyway. I stuffed styrofoam right underneath here to plump up the seat. So when I bought this car, it had an indent in the seat. Now, very common, you got somebody's butt cheeks are squeezing the foam out of it. So you can kind of see what I did. I stuffed it so you can kind of see my seat has like a, what is it, concave or convex? I don't know, whatever it's called. Has a shape where it's like bulging from the outside. This is the most comfy seat I've ever created, and it's the most comfy seat I ever drove on. Only because I have so much styrofoam that I punched in there, technically forced it in there, and then really struggled to get the leather back. And I have a video. This is from like 3 years ago, so where the video I show how I did it. And the heated seats, they do work. Actually, they probably work now better than they did before, because now the heating pad is much closer to the outside of the seat. And, well, the back is fine, but I really get nice and toasty on the bottom part, only because the heating pad is now much closer and much tighter against the actual outer edge of the leather. So, but that, once again, you can take it out, I'm sure, but then you're going to have a little sagging situation. Everything up here works. I mean, yeah, there's a little wear and tear. I do have a couple spare ones of these. It's just I never got around to actually replacing this. I probably have enough to replace all 4 of them. This one's got a little wear. You can kind of see. But this is all the usual stuff. It's not any news. I greased the heck out of these hinges. I have a video about that. See, some of the grease came off here, but you can kind of see it down there. So yeah, I have enough grease to last this car's remaining lifetime, and I have them on all 4 doors. All right, so let's get in here. Oh God, this seat is comfortable. I'm gonna miss this probably the most. All right, let me zoom out a little. All right, the steering wheel. By the way, this is a kitchen shrink wrap, and all I did this was, so I got the idea for this cover from Ford Boss Me, but his town car doesn't have the wood. So when I did it, I'm like, oh, well, crap. I mean, I don't want to cover up the wood, because there's a little wear mark underneath this on the original steering wheel. So when I did this, I mean, I love it. It's nice cover. I mean, it protects the inner side of the wheel. But I was like, man, I really want to expose this wood, because, I mean, what's the point of having wood if you are covering it up? So I cut it. But because I cut it, as my hand would slide around, I kept I kept pulling this, fake leather material. So I did this. This is just kitchen shrink wrap, really, just to cover it up. You can take this off, and it's going to be okay. Probably over the years, it got kind of fused more together. But yeah, this comes off. You can just undo all the stitching, and the steering wheel is original. It got a little tiny cracks in the wood, but guess what? it's a what is it? 17, almost 18-year-old car. Everything here on the inside does work. You can see all the light bulbs work. All the little bottom lights work. All that stuff does work. All the buttons on the steering wheel works. This one got a little bit erased, but here. But I bought it like this. Let's see. Let's close the door. Yeah, the power seat, heated seat, memory seat, all that works, on both sides. It's a Signature Limited. It does work. Here's the biggest problem. Here's the biggest couple problems, I should say, that on the inside. All right. So let's see if I can replicate it. So here's the key. Putting it in the ignition. I don't know if it's going to work or not. You know what? It does work. It does work. Here, let's pop this. But here, I was going to show you this. Okay, the air pump just started. 124,265 miles. See, no lights. If I buckle up, this one will go away. No lights. Here is the problem that I sometimes have with this vehicle. If you remember it from probably a year ago, I had an issue where the shifter cable broke. I was in a Walmart parking lot not too far from where I live, and it snapped. I had it towed, I had it replaced, it works. Every once, like maybe 50-50, it's literally 50-50. I come home, I put it in park, I turn the car off, and I leave. And then the next morning I come out, see, right now I can't replicate it, but maybe I'll make a separate video when that happens. When I put it in park and then I come out the next day, I put the key in the ignition, I turn it, nothing happens. The accessories come on, everything works, but then the car doesn't start. So the first time I crap my pants a little. I'm like, oh, okay, it's shit. The car broke. And then I started messing around with it, and then I put it in neutral, and then it started right away. So something happens where when you put it in park, all right, so here you go. When you put it in park like this, and maybe if I don't do it hard enough or I don't hit it exactly, you can kind of see the thing is a little wobbly. I think that's how they worked when they were brand new. and I don't put it in park, or like don't hit it a certain way or not strong enough, it will not start the next day until you put it in neutral and then start it, and then, you know, the car. So that's what it is. It started happening about 6 months ago. You know, the first time, yes, I thought my car just died, but then when I realized it's just something going on with the park sensor, with the shifter sensor, that's when I realized. So I got a built-in security system. The only problem is I have a remote start. So in the wintertime, a couple times when I try to start it, if that thing is happening, it's not gonna start. So you have to start it manually by putting it in neutral, running the car, and then putting it in park. Yes, so that's the number one thing. Sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. And then the biggest thing where I made plenty of videos about this is the HVAC control, where I don't have defrost. This car does not currently have defrost. So here's what happened. Heating works, AC works, but to get it going, this is the only way. So here, let's turn it off. So right here, this setting, whether you want AC or you want heat, so obviously you can see right now it's heater, air comes out from these vents. That's the only way I can make air work in this car, is in this setting. Doing anything beyond this setting, and this is the only setting that I set it at, it basically makes air come out of the floor. So for your feet, you can kind of see them a little dirty there. And there's the air compressor that I told you about, where every couple weeks I put some air in the tires, in that one tire, and then my wife's car. Here you go. I had it happen a couple years ago. I made plenty of videos about that. If you want, it just started happening. I didn't notice it. So as you can see, I have my vents kind of pointing more upward. So when I want defrost, you know, I crank it up, and then it gets enough where it starts defrosting from top to bottom. Usually it defrosts from bottom to top. In my car, it takes longer, so you got to be aware of that. It takes way longer. I have plenty of de-icer there, and then obviously I scrape the ice as I have the car running, but that's what you have to do. Now, I spoke with my mechanic. He said, yes, it's those doors that actuate, that sends air into different spots. Mine are stuck. So I get the most air out of this vent, followed by this vent, and then followed by this vent. This vent seems to be kind of the best. That vent I just close off. It does work too, but once again, only in this setting. The rear vents right there, you can kind of see my de-icing supplies right there. The rear vents work just fine. They're not affected by it. But that's what it is. And he said that to fix it, he said it's a dash out job. Yes, there's guys out there who know how to do it. A lot of people have written that, you know, or written, yeah, like left comments saying, hey, you can fix it. It's an afternoon project. Guys, I'm not that guy. I wish I was. My mechanic told me that, yes, you can start taking the dash out, but he's like, look, it's an old car, old plastic. Very high chance something's going to break if I start getting in there. He's like, you know, it's a couple days at my shop. I think he said charged me like $800-900. I don't remember. This was a couple years ago. I was like, you know what? It still works. I still get AC. So it's already, the heat is already starting to come out. Yes, but that's why I'm not fixing that. For the last couple years, I made it work like this. The rear defrost does work, no problem. Once again, the dual split, dual temperature controls work. Everything works. Now, because it's only on this setting, I can get the recirc thing. So the AC, I guess, well, because the car is old, is not as powerful. But I recharged it, and I went through this past summer just fine. And then it's already been kind of cold. We already had a mini ice attack a few days ago where this is exactly how I did. I got it running, got the heat going, got the heated seat working, and then just kept spraying. And then it just started to slowly to go down, and then it defrosted itself. So only via this method. So it does take some getting used to. If you have a garage, shouldn't be a big deal. You know, cup holders, there you go. Cup holders do work. You know, glove box, even got the light inside the glove box, still works. All these little flimsy things, they do work. I got some phone charger in there. Yeah, everything else works. Windows, locks, mirrors, pedals, all that works. Traction control does work. Pedals work. Auto thing works. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with the turning signal. You see? It's the front. The front doesn't work. The right one does work. So there you go. Yeah, sunroof Sunroof does work as well. And I love this. The Fusion does not have a sunroof, so I'm gonna have to kind of relearn. It's got a tiniest of the cigarette holes right there. I bought it this way. I covered it up with a speaker. Whoa, sorry, it's way zoomed in. There you go. And you kind of see the same Coconix, those lines. That's my attempt to cover it up with this Coconix product. Same deal. I got very frustrated for, you know, the things. The line here in the back, you got my kids, my kid child seats. There you go. Seats are very plush in the back. You can kind of see I'm riding it limo style where the seat is all the way up. All right, let's go for a little drive. And then I'll just show you that this is a working, running, driving vehicle that maybe one of you will decide to own. The rear parking sensors do work as well. So look, so everything that I did not mention does work. So I'm not gonna go through, so like this clock, it does work. This is a real time. There you go. So, runs nice, runs smoothly, good daily driver. It's not beautiful, no, but it doesn't have to be. It's beautiful on the inside. So there you go. There you have it. Here we're gonna go this way. You know, brake pads probably still have another 6 months on them. I replaced them a few years ago. Obviously, this is a heavy vehicle. Oh, it pulls a little bit to the right. You can kind of see here. Let me zoom out a little. Crap. There you go. So you can kind of see which position. So we're going straight right now. You can kind of see the wheel. You see it at a little angle. That's what it is. Yeah. So it's a little post to the right. It always did that. I mean, I bought the car and it was doing that. I don't know. To me, it's not a big deal. Tires are not really getting worn that much. So yeah. So again, this will not be a vehicle, and I know it's not a for sale video. This will not be a vehicle that somebody's gonna, put in the museum someday. No. But guess what? This will be a vehicle, hopefully for somebody. I don't know. Maybe they always wanted a town car, but they don't want to spend $25,000 on the best example remaining. Or when some of those that are like, the rare collectors one that are like, I forget. Oh, the designer. Yeah, like here you can see people in the park. Yeah, so we're gonna just turn around here. Yeah, where like you have those Jack Nicholas whatever collections. Where people spend like 30 grand on a low mileage example. Yeah, this is not it. This is going to be for somebody like me, honestly, who is going to get it, who's going to drive it, who's going to invest a little money in it, and just drive it. And like I said, 124,265 miles. Let's call it 125,000 by the time I get done with it. Maybe. I don't drive much. My work is only like 12 miles each direction. I stopped going very far for work, so for the last couple years. So yeah, there you go. Very quiet, very smooth, just works. It's a car that just works. So you can see, yeah, everything, no lights, no nothing. Very quiet too, very comfortable. So all right, well, it's one of my longer videos, so hopefully you guys will have some good information, and I will be pointing to this video the next time I make. See, it's got a little pickup. And then we're just going to pull it right in here. Yeah, and then the air ride, I think I already mentioned that. Yeah, the air ride is original. Now, how long it's going to work, I don't know, but it still works. I don't have it converted. It's not springs. It's air ride. It's very smooth. No complaints there. There's, a few creaks and rattles every once in a while, but it's, again, we're not talking 2016. We're talking 2006. So there you have it, guys and girls, maybe. There you go. And then we're gonna. Oh, one last thing I wanted to mention. You see, I'm remembering. So it does have, remote. I have a second remote. It does work. Power locks work. Here is the one thing that I It was a problem the first couple times that it happened years ago, and then it stopped becoming a problem. So I would lock. You can see, lock and unlock all doors, no problem. But then what happened was, because we live in a condo, all the condos here, I had the alarm would sound, usually in the middle of the night, and it happened a couple times. So I would unlock it and it would stop, and then I would look outside the window and it would be like, okay, well, somebody trying to steal it? What the hell is going on? And then I realized what I did, so the alarm would sound. So I was like, was this a faulty alarm? Like, did I press the button? Did my cat walk across it? Like, what the hell is happening? By the way, and here's the remote start. Right, so it's a CompuStar or something. All right. And what I ended up doing, so instead of using the power locks, I would just do this. Basically bypass the alarm, because when you close these doors, the alarm, that also triggers the alarm. And it never happened. Well, sorry, my finger's in the way. And it never happened for the last 4 years. Now, I spoke with my mechanic about it, and he said it probably has something to do maybe with the hood switch, or it has something to do with a faulty alarm or something like that. And he said, well, to fix it, would need a lot of effort to try to understand what it is. He's like, well, I can just deactivate your alarm. I was like, well, I don't want to do that. But basically that's what he said. So what I've been doing is basically pretending like I have manual locks, and I got so used to it I don't even think about it anymore. But maybe it's not an issue anymore. So again, I don't know. I haven't really had much bad experience with this car, but I would hate for the alarm to go off in the middle of the night, and then when I do that, it's just stopped becoming a problem. But the power locks do work, and the alarm works, and the remote start works. So there it is. Okay, everybody, I'll see you next time.